Thank you, Harshit. Thank you, Harshit, for the excellent introduction. Uh, just on the lighter side, no, I believe one person retired from an organization after 30, 40 years of experience. And then there was a farewell party. And then everyone praised him. And whenever somebody praised him, he looked at the back. So they said, and when his turn came no, to speak, he said, today is the last working day for me and all that. They said, everything is fine. Tell me one thing. Tell us one thing, that whenever somebody talked about you, why did you look at the back? That gentleman said that I wanted to make sure they were only referring to me, not somebody at the back. See, it's the same way that when Arshit was talking about me, I want to make sure that Arshit was talking about me, not somebody like Kumar, anybody, one of the brightest persons here. Okay, right. In this background, now let's go to the presentation. Arshit, will you be able to share? Yeah,
Yes.
right. Now, as Ashit said, this is a presentation on holistic abundance, path to holistic abundance and simple path. Why I emphasize the word simple is that there are a lot of things in the world today where the complex things are presented, and sometimes complex things are presented in a simple way, some complex things are presented in a complex way also. But even if it is presented in a simple way, to practice it later becomes very, very difficult. That's why we thought we'll adopt only simple approach to holistic abundance. We'll also define what is holistic abundance a little later. We'll move to the next slide. We want to start something on a different thing called esoteric aspects of money. What is esoteric? Is something like somewhat mystic aspects about money. And this is something interesting for us. Why do we do that? Because apparently many people have given the feedback that esoteric aspects of money improves abundance in our minds, and later on it manifests in reality. So it's very interesting. It works initially in the mind, but it later on it manifests in reality. If you can manifest abundance through the mind itself, why not? And it's very unique also in this thing, in the sense that these aspects are not discussed many a time. So people also like it. And as we said before, it is not discussed in many forums also. Next slide. I'm going fast because there are things that many of us know. No, somebody says, no, how can cleanliness improve prosperity? Only possible thing is energy level improves. If the room is cluttered with about, let's say, about 40 chairs and all that, you can think of the energy. And whereas when you remove those things and it improves your energy level and it gives clarity of thinking. With clarity of thinking, perhaps you perform well in your profession and your career. That's why cleanliness leads to better prosperity. Next slide. I'm deliberately going through very fast. The language is also very important. The language of really successful, wealthy people seems to be different from the language used by people. And for them, it becomes a habit, successful people. For instance, instead of saying I can't, can you say how I can do it? Right? If you say I can't, that's the end of it. Whereas if you say how can I, then there's a possibility that I can discuss how to do it. And sometimes people say, if I become prosperous, that means an element of doubt. Instead, can you say when I become prosperous? Because when it means that it's only a matter of time before you become prosperous. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is a beautiful point that I would love to talk little more. Managing current resources, can lead to better prosperity. How is it possible? I'll give you an example. Suppose you take a 3-year. Harshit, you got any child, any nephew or niece?
Yes, sir. I have got one niece.
What's her name?
Her name is Shambhavi.
Shambhavi. Let's say you take Shambhavi to a nearby shop to buy her ice cream, right? You go there and get her 1 scoop ice cream. As you are returning from the shop, Shambhavi drops the ice cream down and she cries. And she asks for one more ice cream. Will you do it? Will you get her or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will go there. But this time she sees a double scoop ice cream. What will you do?
I will let her have it.
Okay. This is what most of us say, but the universe or the higher intelligence does not think so. When you can't handle 1 scoop of ice cream, how can you handle 2 scoops of ice cream? So the universe thinks that if you don't manage your existing resources, why should I give you more? So that means handling our money with the right attitude while giving and receiving the money, and a simple accounting you follow for your even personal money, it always improves. It improves your focus as well as it improves your higher prosperity. It manifests in a higher prosperity. Yeah. Now, this is something that it has been, we have talked enough about gratitude, very important thing. And the universe seems to favor those who keep expressing gratitude to what they already have. If you are grateful to already you have, it says that you will have more things to be grateful for. So it's very interesting. So one action is simple, prepare gratitude list every day. Something for which you are grateful for. Maybe different things, 2, 3 items every day. Look at it, you will feel more energy. And universe will also give you more. Next. Yeah, this is something very important. You see, in a place like Coimbatore or many other places, you can see some very latest car, like BMW or anything like that. Immediate thought goes into your mind. That fellow was an ordinary fellow. How is he managed to buy a car? Maybe he would have done. Maybe he would have. I don't know who. Can we make sure that there is no noise? Otherwise, you can even mute yourself. We are not going to mute anybody for that because we want you to participate. Right. Okay. So the grandeur is there, then the thought arises that how did he get it? Whereas no, the general thing should be that bless the car, bless the person. Say that one day I'll also have a car or better car than this. Enjoy the grandeur is a very important point. Next one, please. Yeah, this is very important that if you are rich, associate with a richer person. If you are richer, associate with the richest person. I mean, when you associate with the rich people, and kind of have asked them questions, they tell you, and then many of them share the secret of success with you. And one of the funniest things that I've learned is have a dinner or lunch with them, and you pay for them. Don't make them pay for it. Next one, please. Yeah, there is something called money display, which I learned from a workshop called Money Workshop. Every Friday, we arrange some money, including dollars and all that. Now, this improves prosperity consciousness, and through the prosperity consciousness, it also attracts. It is esoteric. It is not a logic. It is not a logical thing. And whenever you go buy clothes, no, buy good quality clothes. If necessary, buy half, but of a better quality, right? And travel very comfortably. In fact, many a time when I traveled in let's say first class AC and good economy, economy, some first class in this thing also executive class and all that, I met some better quality people. So it's up to you to travel, choose the mode of travel. But I always found that when you have prosperity consciousness, for instance, in your purse, when you keep 2,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees is not possible. Let's say 500 rupees more of it, no, it gives you more confidence. Next one, please. Yeah, this is something that all of us know, that visualization. There's nothing much I need to add here because right, many of us visualize. I have some stories to say, but not in this forum because very knowledgeable people are here, I know. So I don't want to talk about something very elementary. Next one, please. Yeah, this is something very, very important. I owe this to Ratnam. Are you here? Ramaratnam, are you here?
Yes, sir. I'm there, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Ratnam, I owe this to your brother Ramesh. He introduced to me a book called The Message of Master. I don't know whether Ratnam reads it. I read it, and then what he says is that mere words don't have much meaning. Even visualization sometimes does not work. But take a word, let's say abundance. What does abundance mean to you? As if, I mean, you got some. If you're 10 crores now, let's say if you add 1 0 to the 100 crores now, what will you feel? How will your wife respond? How will your society respect you? You can't keep on doing this, no? That has more power than mere words or just visualization alone. In other words, money flow. What is a money flow? There is a stoka called Kanagadara sound, as if Goddess Lakshmi is giving you, pouring some gold this thing on you. Just visualize that. And joyful spending. When you spend happily. And how do you spend happily? Don't curse people who are taking money from you. Say that, thank you very much for the excellent service. And be liberal. How do you liberal when your sons, when your servants' daughter get married? No, give them some at 2,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees without their expectation. And when you say plenty in everything, now you have many things in abundance. Visualize this, which is very important. Not only words, visualize in particular with reference to you. How will your wife respond? How will your son respond? Next one, please. Yeah. Well, now we come to the core subject. I'll go a little slow now, right? Now, the point is that why should we choose the theme that we are saying is simple beats complex. Okay. Why simple beats complex? Okay. Number one, you'll be more consistent. If you take some complex things, many a time we are not consistent. Take a very small example like walking on the road. Every one of us knows walking is good. But how many of us are consistent because try to do a lot of things at one time. You start with 5 miles or 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers, then you'll not become. Start with some maybe 100 meters a day or something like that. Similarly, even when you start the investment or anything like that, no, simple always helps you become more consistent. Less anxiety and stress. Now there are people who straight invest in equity, they invest in F&O and all that. No? I can assure you they'll go through a lot of anxiety. Not only that, there is one more point. This anxiety they carry forward to their job. You have every right to take stress on yourself, but you can't carry forward that stress to the place of work. We are being paid by the organization, let us say. I don't think you should do F&O there, carry the anxiety there. And most important thing is, ultimately, simple gives peace of mind, and peace of mind, there is no price at all. Next one slide. Yeah. Now, we'll also talk about happy saving and spending. Simple things gives you an approach to happy saving and spending. Very, very important for us. And not only that, you become a role model for your junior colleagues and family members. Now, family members think that, no, he's not complicating my life or he's not giving me too many things to handle. Okay, I can easily follow what he does. Right? Next one, please. Sorry, in the last two slides, any questions? Any observations? You can feel free. My flow will not get affected. Any of you? Can I go ahead, please?
Yes, sir, you can.
Yeah. Okay, Guru. Right. Next slide, please. Yeah. Now we sort of getting ready to take the right action. What is the action we are going to take first? Yeah. Before that, we are going to make some study of people who have actually done it. This is a very interesting person I met in a place by Tiruvuttur near Chennai. And 45 years, ordinary worker, industrial worker, they had a saving of more than 10. I asked him, how are you going to educate two son and daughter? He says, I have enough money to educate them. I'm not going to borrow. This happened about 22 years back. He had enough money. I asked him, how did you do that? He said, first of all, my living is very simple, sir. Second is, I contributed more in the provident fund. He didn't know about equity market, he didn't know about mutual fund or anything like that. Such people can also become successful because we are going to see the formula why such people become successful. Because one, he started early. Second, reduces expenses. We are not going to reduce the expenses, but he did it. Be consistent and committed to your plan. That's very, very important. Next case study, please. Yeah, this is a person whom I have not met. I have read this. A postal department person, a postman rather, retired with a corpus of 800,000 US dollars. My God, this is not now about 25, 30 years back. Huge corpus. How did he do it? He took time to plan the future. Very, very important point. I had a boss who used to say that every Saturday I'm allocating half an hour for my personal finance. He asked me how much. He said, I'm not. He said, you should correct yourself. He immediately told me. So spend time to plan your future, right? Guru, for you also, instead of handling HNIs, you have to ask yourself, how do I become HNI, right?
Yes, of course.
He stayed out of debt and he shopped before buying, and meaning that he inquired the prices. Buying used instead. That is very common in US, but we don't like it in India. Of course, now the old cars are also coming to the market these days. And proper maintenance of gas. Whatever you buy, whether it's a car or a fan or AC or anything, maintain it well, and investing in stocks. Okay. And this is something, lesson for us is planning is very critical. Are we doing it? It's a question that you ask. And discipline approach. And the last one is very important, patience. Because many people seem to have no patience at all. They say that I want to double the money in 1 year, or I want to make some good money in next 1 year's time. I don't think such formula exists as far as I know. Next one, please. Hey, you can stop me anytime. I'm going deliberately because there are things that all of us know about it. This is a person who is a Barbary businessman. He started from scratch and reached a net worth of 4.5 crores in 10 years' time. Sheer hard work. And business loss took him to minus 9 crores. That means he lost about 13.5 crores. Now, I met him about this meeting was very long. About 20 years back, he said plus 2 point, meaning that not only wiped out the 9 crores, he made plus, he made roughly about 11.5 crores, wiping out the 9 crores. Very important lesson that he achieved, accepted failure as part of life. There's nothing like you can't fail or anything like that. Some of us have an ego, I can't fail. He never believed that anyone can fail in life and did not lose heart. That's very important. When you fail, sometimes people feel that, no, I'm a useless person or anything like that, nothing of that sort. He never gave up and he's a very hardworking person. I know him personally. And he achieved his object in spite of problems and not in absence of problems. Many people say that if it does not rain, he'll walk in the morning. Come on, he'll walk many times. You're going to get the rainy season in Chennai shortly. It's going to rain in the month of October, November. Despite that, you have to manage to walk. Next example, next case study, please. Yeah, this is my own grandfather. It's not the picture of my grandfather. Arshad has put some other picture, but any case. He's a honest government service and died when he was 70 years old. At that time, life expectancy 67 was very low. I don't know whether you people have read it in 40s and all that. If you see the life expectancy was 34 years, 35. I was shocked. Now life expectancy is crossing 70. Now very soon it's going to cross 90 and all that. So you have to plan your longer innings in the second innings also. He's an honest government servant, died at the age of 70, leaving behind 2 houses, lot of shares and fixed deposits. How did you do it? Very simple living. Yet challenges, my God. If I tell about his challenges, I will take about 1 hour. I don't know to narrate his challenges. Simple living. He put savings ahead of expenses. And he was willing to learn and try products such as that. Those days, share market was not popular, but still he bought some shares. Okay. Next slide, please. Other lessons are very simple. I don't want to take time on that. A self-employed professional, this happened in 1993 when this man is a qualified cost accountant, I know. And 1993 minus 2 lakhs, 1996 plus 2 lakhs, 2003 minus 7 lakhs, 2008 plus 2 lakhs. Why is this kind of a fluctuation for him? He didn't set any goal. That's why goal setting is very, very important. It is not a bookish exercise that you have to set a financial goal. And no systematic approach to finance planning, very important. Personal finance planning is very important. You will be very successful in business, but still you have to plan your personal finance very carefully. And you ate into savings when income got dried up. That's why the lesson to take is think 100 times before dip into your savings. Get some alternative income. You can't dip into your savings is meant for something else. Next one, please. Yeah. This is an engineer from PWD, 6 lakhs income, but debt of about 25 lakhs. He invested in a house without many saving, taking some credit card and using all kinds of things. He's spending more than his borrowings. And of course, for us, don't live beyond our means, which most of us don't do. We are very careful and follow 3, 20, 30, 40 rule in buying a house. These are the things that we don't have to go into. We are not planning. When you buy a real estate, I'll tell you what is this 3, 20, 30, 40 rule is not required for us. And case study 7 is about money lender's house, and where there is income tax raid was there, and a lot of money, everything was seized by the income tax department. The wife started saying, take away everything. They were shocked. Generally, the women say that my husband worked very hard to earn this. Please don't take it. But the lady said, take it. Because what this man did is, whenever she wanted money from some relatives or from festivals or anything, festival come next year also, I will not give you money. So he was actually hoarding money. He was not saving and investing money. So we should not, it's a wrong example for us. Can you go to the next slide, please? I think the action slide should come now. No? Yeah, this is very important that always insure first, then invest the rest. This is something that I have seen in very senior people because I'm doing planning for a lot of people. That insurance is grossly inadequate for many people, which they gave, LIC gave several years back. You have to keep reviewing your insurance continuously. And term rates are very low today, so most of us can take the term policies. And not only the life insurance, but also health insurance is very important. Again, because of the competition, you are able to get good rates. But of course, post-COVID, the health insurance rates have gone up, but You have no choice, but better to take those things. Next one, please. Yeah, this is the most important thing you have to understand. The name of the game is risk management, not avoidance. You can't avoid risk at all. There is an element of risk. I'll ask you one question, that when you walk on the road, is there a risk? Any one of you, do you say, is there a risk when you walk on the road? Guru?
Of course, yes.
Poses, right? Now, why do you still walk? Your life is precious or not? Let us say your earnings is 45 lakhs per annum. Even according to the insurance industry, your worth will be 4.5 crores or something like that. No, right? Why do you walk? Because we need to go. No, we can't remain at home. We have to use a car. We have to use two-wheeler, whatever it is. We walk. But what you do is take scapegoats. You walk on the zebra crossing, provided you have zebra crossing. In Chennai, they are totally eliminating. They are eliminating zebra crossings. Anyhow, when you are driving the car, you look at both sides, and then people overtake on the left side and all that. You have to drive carefully. So, in other words, you take risk in our life. Let's say we are worth about, our worth cannot be put in money terms, but again, I have to use the insurance industry norms, that 10 times or whatever it is, 45 crores worth, right? 45 lakhs, 4.5 crores worth, we take a chance. And why can't we take a risk for 1 crore or 50 lakhs or something like that? You will take risk, but we'll take risk with safeguards. That is why we need a good advisor, and the good advisor will tell you what kind of risk you can take. Next one, please. Yeah, I think I'll spend a lot of time on this because people have a great amount of confusion in the later years also. This is a formula we studied, what is called compound interest formula in the school. I have just modified. It's equal to A is equal to P into 1 plus R to the power N. Right? I've changed it to future value is equal to present value multiplied by 1 plus R to the power N. What is future value? That is what we are working for. We want to maximize. That is nothing but a wealth creation for us. What is present value? How much you are investing currently? What is R? The rate of interest. What is N? The number of years you make the funds available for you, for your investment. Now, look at it very carefully. Is present value in our control? That is money that you contribute for your investment. Is in your control or not? Any one of you? How much you can contribute? How much you can save and invest? Not contribute. Sorry, contribute is not the right word. Save and invest. Is in your control or somebody else's control? Come on, yeah.
Our control only, sir.
Yeah, predominantly in our product. I would not say, because if you choose a better job, you can, if supposing the income is not adequate, Mr. Rajagopal, you can go to some other organization and also earn. I'm just giving that as an example. So, how much you save? PV is in our control. Is R in our control? Rate of return in our control? Yes or no?
Partially, sir.
No, most of the time not, because the rate fluctuates. See, the fixed deposit rate, just now somebody was sharing with me about 2 hours back. His fixed deposit rate was about 12 to 14% when his father retired in 2000. And now the rate is about 5-6%. It's not in your control. Well, even safe deposit, like even PPF, I remember the rate was about 12%. It has fallen down to about 7-8%, right? So R is not in our control. Predominantly, most of the time, it's not in our control. N is in our control. Number of years you can say, is your control or not? Hello?
Not, sir. No, sir.
N is definitely in our control, because how yearly you save, no, and so that N becomes larger, is in our control. So we don't talk about present, how much I can contribute. You don't talk about how yearly you can contribute. We talk about how much we can earn from the investment. We are talking about something on which you have no control. Like people invest in F&O, thinking that, no, somebody said that you can make easily about, by option selling, you can make about 5% per month. 5% per month translates to 60% per annum. I don't think anybody has done it consistently. People have done it for some time. They would have done it for about 3-4 months. That is why don't go for a very large return, because when you go for a large return, there is a high element of risk. I know one person, no, who was lost, a very senior person. I can't name him. He used his retirement funds. 50% of the amount is lost. let's say his corpus retirement corpus was about 80 lakhs. 40 lakhs is lost because of F&O. Can you believe it? What kind of respect his family will have for him? So don't go for the R. My humble request to all of you. Subject, of course, each personality is different. People ask me even when they retire, whether they put some money in PMS, AF and all that. I said, you can when you're younger, when you're about 20 years, 30 years old, you can do. But that time you may not have that kind of funds to put it in PMS. But now you have funds, but now you have to be more careful because you are approaching your retirement. You've already retired. You have to be very careful. In fact, if you start early and increase the number of years and also keep doing something which I'm going to talk about a little later, very shortly possibly, is that you don't have to bother about or at all. Next one, please. Yeah. Now, what is the action? This is the part 4.1. Very, very important. What is fish model? This is something fish you would have somebody would have read. There is a famous thing for motivation. So there are some fixed expenses that you have no choice that you have to allocate for that, right? Now, H is for happy spending. You have to allocate this thing. Then S is for savings. How much you save, that also you allocate some percentage. And happy spending, there the formula is for you allocate only for 3 areas where that gives you a lot of satisfaction. I'll give you some examples. For instance, I like eating out in some good restaurants. I allocate more for eating out. Somebody may like travel. You may allocate more for that. Somebody may be a fitness, let's say, fitness, what do you call it? Fitness freak. So he will allocate more for, let's say, a gym and all that. No, it can be anything. When you allocate the expenses, we don't have time to go into the details, but we can even show an example and all that. But what I'm trying to say here is that there is a method available where you can allocate maximum to maximize P and also enjoy incur the fixed expenses like your car, your rent, your food and all, good quality food and all that. And also invest and also happily spend. When you spend happily spend, it's a discretionary spending. There you have to choose the top 3 areas. This is again not my idea, the idea of an expert. And as I said earlier, focus more on present value, that is how much you save and N, and not to worry too much about R. Rate of return. Next one, please. Next one. We'll go to the previous one. Yeah. Very important. Avoid trading. This is something we already discussed. And fancy products. I don't want to name any product because some of you might have invested. I don't want to offend anyone. And till you become ultra rich, let's say Robert Kiyosaki mentioned in his books, his wife bought a car when her passive income was much more than the EMI she had to pay. So that kind of thing you can go. You should enjoy life also. It's not something that we're a conjurer or anybody like that. And special way to address R. Now, this is something that very interesting. Well, R is not in my control. How do I gain control over that? I'll tell you. There is, let's say you're investing money in SIP, systematic investment plan. Now, there are people who tell you that every year keep increasing. Last year, your salary increases, let's say 5% or 6%. And you you have to enjoy that increase also. Of course, inflation is also coming along with you. The money will not be available for you easily. But let's say I was saving about 50, 60,000 per month. Let's say 50,000 per month. Next year, I will increase it to 55,000. So what I can't achieve where by R, I will achieve by my more contribution consciously. It's a decision you have to take consciously. And over a period of time, you yourself will become an expert. Some expense you will yourself avoid. For instance, you will give the best education for your children. But when it comes to, let us say, club membership, you want to join BNI or something, you may even defer such kind of expenses. Right? This is very important. And other important thing I want to tell you is that I have a mentor for life, not just for finance. I have a mentor for life because I'll tell you, I paid a big penalty by not having a member. So I tell everyone, become a mentor and then surrender to the process of the mentor. I'm not saying surrender to the mentor. Whatever process, you should do a homework before choosing a mentor, then surrender to the process of the mentor. And you have an advisor for your financial. Very, very important. Next one, Harshit. Yeah, this is something that people get some bulk money in addition to the monthly contribution. Most of the time I suggest balance advantage fund because it gives this is again a classic example of simple over complex. Generally, our expectation from balance advantage fund is 10 to 11%. But there is one person, I don't want to name any fund manager here, who has constantly broken this 11, 12%. He is earning about 16, 17%. There is one person in the audience today, I don't want to name him. He doesn't have to volunteer now. He is getting much more than 22% in balance advantage. What else you want here? Why do you want to take risk in other products? Right? Now, the other thing is that comparison is inevitable, but don't join the game. Somebody will compare you with your brother, somebody will compare you with your neighbor, somebody will compare you with your colleague. I don't think we should join that game at all. And smartly use the power of compounding. The next sentence is very important. Not to become an example of behavior gap. What is this behavior gap? I'll tell you. Some people start investing. Suddenly they see that Russia-Ukraine war. They sell the shares, they sell the equity or sell the mutual fund. And then you can't time it. See, this time when the war happened, it fell down for about 2-3 months, then suddenly started rising. It went much beyond. All of us know this, no? I don't have to tell you that. So there is a concept people have studied that is called investment return and investor return. That is a person's return, the market return. The investor return is always less than because somebody tells him, one of his friends tells him that this is a good investment. He does the investment. He sells something which his advisor had told him, but he has not followed that. So there is a gap between, this gap is called behavior gap, gap between investment return and investor return. Investor return, let's say about 14%. Investment return is 16%. The 2% is called behavior gap. Don't fall a victim for this particular behavior gap. Very, very important point. Just a second. Just go back because somebody may have a question on that. Any observation, any thought? All of you silent here. I like voices here.
What is
I don't know.
BAF? What is it? I didn't understand.
Billion?
Yeah, BAF, what is it?
A balanced advantage fund. It gives a tremendous advantage. I mean, I would have told you later also, but I thought I should mention here. You use your discretion, use your advisor, and invest in this kind of products where the risk is minimized. What it does, I'll tell you. Since thanks, Melinda, for asking. What it does, the fund manager, when the equity is very high, it reduces the exposure, and when the equity is low, increases the exposure to equity. It does it beautifully. So he buys virtually at a lower price and sells it at a higher price. But you can't do it, I can tell you. The fund managers have privy to a lot of information which you and I do not have.
But Srinivas,
Yeah.
the balanced advantage fund is the best for SWP, they say.
Come again, Ratna?
They say that the balanced advantage fund is the best for SWP. Is it true?
Yeah. It's very good for SWP also, but I'm telling even a young person now, the lady, I'll tell you her age about less than 40, 39, 40, 30, sorry, so 38. And she said they've got a bulk amount, close to crore of rupees. I said that you put it after paying taxes and all that, long-term capital gains, because it's a property sale. I said, put it only in balanced advantage fund. She said, why not? I'm young, I'll take risk. I said, you can take risk also, but take risk for about 20%. 20% you put in some aggressive funds and all that. You put others in balance advantage fund. The reason is that, I mean, you will have peace of mind. See, what is the price you will pay for peace of mind? See, market will keep giving higher returns for some products. But can you become master of that? The answer is no, unless you're a fund manager. Very, very difficult. Don't go by what fund says and don't go by the past returns and all that. All are misleading. I can give examples of funds, but I'll be talking against some AUMs, sorry, not AUMs, some mutual funds, which I'm not supposed to talk as a mutual fund advisor. So I don't want to talk about it, but you have to be very careful. Don't go by the past return or anything like that. So balanced advantage fund, or I'm saying you could do it. I don't say you can allocate 100% on BAF. Allocate size, so depending on the age. Again, your advisor will tell you how much to allocate for this kind of savings. And very good as Ratnam. I'm thankful to you, Ratnam, for suggesting this, but many a time you get very good returns. And for what is called SWP, systematic withdrawal plan. This is one of the ideal things that you can choose. Thank you, Ratna. Any other question, please? I'll go to the next slide otherwise.
You must tell us something about XIRR.
I think Ratna will take quite some time. You'll already pardon me, but I'll tell you XIRR. What is IRR? Is the thing, let's say you invest 10 lakhs now, getting about 20 lakhs after 3 years or something like that. You can work out IRR. It's a straightforward formula. You can use the Excel or something like that. But what if you put the money in stages, in months? Instead of putting, let's say, 10 lakhs in one go, you put, let's say, 1 lakh now, 1 lakh after, and so on, some period. Now, what the first 1 lakh is available for, let's say, 10 years. Second 1 lakh is available for 9 years. Let's say. I'm just giving an example. Now, the formula averages out everything and then gives out a weighted average return. The weighted average return is called XIR. It will take a long time for me to explain fully, but crudely understand XIRR stands for weighted average return for the period the money is held by the let's say by the mutual fund or whatever it is. Thanks, Ratna. Any other question, please? Yeah, and go over to the next slide, please. We're going to almost come to the end of it. So I don't want to retain a Sunday beyond. Yeah, next slide, Ashit. Whatever. Back, yeah, next one. Yeah, this is something very, very important. The holistic abundance part is something that I'd like to spend a little time on that. It's not only the money that you make, but if you sacrifice your health, happiness, family, and integrity, there are people like the example I told you about the money lender. No, he didn't keep his family happy. What kind of money? Why should you accumulate wealth like that? And there are people who spoil their health without taking care of their health. I tell people, people who had a heart attack, I tell them a very simple: hold the little finger. Thanks to my great friend Vimal Galada, I've learned some mudras and pass it on. People are not following it here. They ask me how long I should hold it. I said, are you paying any money for holding it longer? Hold it. There are some mudras which are time limit also, which I tell them. But I tell mudras which are for which there is no time. You can do it while sleeping. You can do it while when you're not driving. When you're driving, you don't do it. Otherwise, when you're driving in a chauffeur-driven car or you're going by cab or something like that, you can do it. So take care of the health. Take care of family integrity. That kind of wealth is called holistic abundance or true wealth. It's called true wealth for the reason that's a true wealth. Other things are false wealth. Now, true wealth you achieve by balancing personal finance. Very important. Without money, nobody respects you. So that's very important. Self-development. Develop as a person, better individual. And as they rightly say, being comes first before doing and having. So being, doing and doing. So become a better person in every field. Being, including religion, including spirituality, everywhere become a better person. Healthy body. Can't emphasize more than that. Healthy mind and spirit. I'm talking about solid spirit, not liquid spirit. Healthy relationship, very, very important with everybody, with your colleagues, and unconditional happiness. Be happy without a reason also. Nothing wrong, right? If you balance all these things, you get true health. And we will spend more time on this when we become part with each other, right? Be a lifelong student. That's very important. And willing to learn from good sources. Caveat is that apply only what is right for you. That is where you need a mentor. You can learn from WhatsApp also today. There are plenty of things like when doctor called that person WhatsApp doctor, because there are lots of things come in the WhatsApp. You can't practice everything. So that is where you need a mentor to go and check, right? Should I practice this or not? Somebody said by rising your what is called the feet every day, you can reduce your sugar. I'm doing it, but I'm not doing that exclusively. I'm not. I even referred it to somebody, but she didn't respond. So it's okay. Continue, because first of all, it is not controversial. I'm not stopping any medication or anything like that, right? So holistic abundance is something that we'll discuss more in the coming days also. Next one, Narshit. Yeah. What we give for our investors is that from now onwards, we want to spend more time on tax planning, particularly using BF. But a lot of people keep money in fixed deposits. I think they need to change at least part of it keep about, let's say your corpus in fixed deposit 25 lakh or 1 crore. Keep 25 lakhs in fixed deposit, 75 crores use in BA. That kind of a risk you can take. And it's a wonderful tool because the fixed deposit, the interest is credited whether you want it or not. Whereas a balanced advantage fund, I can draw the fund when it is required and I can pay most of the time long-term capital gains. And sometimes I have to pay occasionally short-term capital gain. But again, don't bother about how much capital gain tax has increased and things like that. All these things is not in our control. Don't worry about anything is not in our control. Because if you start worrying about things that are not in control, you lose the unconditional happiness. So just enjoy life and then put your efforts in in your career, not in investment. Okay. Many actions I've started doing for some investors to address any challenge. What is action? It's a very simple tool to develop alternatives. Whenever you struck with a problem or even an opportunity, sometimes we have a golden opportunity we are not utilizing. How do you do that? Do we lack ideas of professionals? The answer is yes and no. You know the answer, sometimes you're not executing it. So whenever you discuss with people like us, Happy Mentor is specializing in action. So we'll be able to give some guidance on how to use your challenge or opportunity or how to overcome the challenge. Income improvement whenever required. That again, using actions, you can look at how do you improve the income. Many people ask this income, everything is fine, but I'm not having enough income. We have also done this exercise recently for a retired person and several intangible like health and things like that. We'll be liberal in sharing our experience and knowledge, whatever you call it. Right. Next one, please. This is something very important. An expert says personal finance is more about personal than about finance. In other words, there is no, somebody asked the question of BF or anything like that. It's not universally applicable for everybody. In your case, even fixed deposit may be the right thing. In somebody else's case, only BF may be the right thing. So you do not know what is right for each person. So that's why you need an advisor. The advisor will tell you which is advice for you. But choose the right advisor. Don't choose an advisor who has a target as a friend. See, I don't want to talk about one class of people. I was about to say that, but I'm resisting mine. At the same, there are people who have targets, they have to achieve it. So they give products which is the flavor of the month for them. I know people who got insurance products on retirement. Can you believe it? So anyhow, that's their prerogative. So you have to choose the right kind of source for investment also. So be very careful on choosing your advisors. Right? Anything else? I'll come to the last slide. Harshit? Harshit, where are you, man? Yeah. So this is our coordinates. Anytime you require any help or anything, you always believe in the last point that is written there. Simple beats complex. For various reasons. One of the main things is that you become a victim. The other thing, you become a victim of what is called the behavior gap. You should never do that. And secondly, simple gives you peace of mind. Complex gives you sometimes sleep. I'll stop here. You can take a screenshot of this in case you require my coordinates. Most of you will have my coordinates, but just thought I should tell this. Right. Now over to you. We are not even, I thought 11:45. Currently we are completed. Any questions, please? Feel free to ask any questions.
Give me your opinion on one thing. My view is higher the AUM, better will be the fund manager. Say it's a 30,000 crore AUM, they will put the best fund manager. If it is
Right.
1,000 crore AUM, it will be a very low grade. Is it true?
No, nothing of that sort. See, nothing of that. See, I'll tell you why it's not true. See, let's say I'll give you the name. I don't think I should give the real name. Let's say there's a gentleman by name Ram. Ram leaves ICICI and goes to another fund, which is a startup, which is just starting. I know Ram for a moment is a great fund manager, and he has taken up a job in another fund company. I know Ram will do a great job in the second listing also. That's reason number one. Reason number two. The AUM sometimes it can be less for various reasons. The industry may be, if it's a sectoral fund, the investment may not be very large. For instance, defense, everyone says that I'll invest in defense. Everyone says I'll invest in manufacturing. Everyone will say that I'll invest in health. There are some sectors which may be sunrise industries where the return today may not be very attractive. But if the fund manager is good, no, even if the AUM is large, small, you should invest subject to the approval of your advisor. Whatever I'm saying, your advisor will precede me, not I. But the point is, yes, true. This is like a restaurant, Ratnam. When you go to a restaurant now, if you go to a less crowded restaurant, you know the quality because the quality is good. Many people would have come to the restaurant, but they don't come, right? So sometimes, yes, if the AUM is large, it means that the organization does. But I also tell you the flip side of AUM being large. AUM being large, the fund manager has his own challenges. He has to manage large corpus. How will he ensure that past record is maintained or improved? It's a challenge. But of course, we are masters in this. I don't think we should get into their shoes. Thanks, Latam. It's a very good question. Very good question. Other persons, please. If you don't ask, I'll have to name you. I don't name you.
Sir, thanks.
Kumar, Mr. Kumar, any question? Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Srinivasa.
Thank you. Thank you for your detailed section. And one thing I would like to ask is like 15 years or 20 years back, everyone started investing on LIC and other things to save income tax. Now the scenario has got changed and the new scheme is introduced. There is no benefit of going to the like investing in these LICs. So what we supposed to do now? We already started way back,
Yeah.
like 10 to
Yeah,
15 years.
very good question,
So if
Srinivasa.
we have to come out of the LIC, is it the right decision or stay in the LIC?
Okay. See, this was a thing started. You rightly said LIC was a pioneer. They used to take some auditors as their advisors to their wife and all that. Anyway, I didn't want to too much of detail about that. And January to March, they look crazy to get the ATC benefit and all that. Now, things have changed because there are much better opportunities. For instance, ELSS. Now, it's a beautiful way to park your funds when you're surplus. Very consciously, I suggest to a lot of people ELSS. Though there is a lock-in, the advantage of lock-in is victim of behavior gap. No? So lock your money, certain amount of money in ELSS also. The point is that saving for tax alone is not the right thing. You should. That is why we insist on what is called goal-oriented investment. Srinivasan and his wife and his family want a car. Yes, that's a prerogative. That's a prerogative of Srinivasan. He's smiling because I told him don't buy a car. Some other place. That's very important. That's to be respected. Over and over that, no, if he plans, now he himself will realize that there are the gaps. Because if he does not have enough thing for his daughter's wedding or son's wedding, or son's education or daughter's wedding, and for his retirement also, you will automatically cut down, no? So why should I stop him? You make people realize, right? So today, not to answer your very specific question, tax is the least consideration today. And you're right, particularly after the new tax regime has been promoted heavily today by not only by the finance minister, but everybody else also. And whatever you hold previously, you have to discuss with your advisor. In your case, I am the advisor. You can discuss with me and take a call. We will never ask you to sell something at a loss. That's not our intention. Right? Thanks, Srinivasan. Very good question. In fact, I want to have a session with both of you, another detailed session. Sure. Last time was incomplete. Yeah.
And what about savings for the
Any other question,
corporates?
please? See, the savings for the corporates, it's a tax planning for the corporates, which you have to discuss. Okay. That's what we are going to meet tomorrow. This Kumar and the gentleman. Remember the timing here, 12 o'clock, I think it's the time. Anyway, sorry, the others should not get distracted. It's a separate kind of an exercise where how do I plan my taxes? This is done by great experts. Today, I have my great friend Ramaratham worked in Deloitte. Right? Like that, there are experts. I'm not promoting anybody here. Please don't take that kind of thing. It's to be discussed very carefully with your auditors and assuming your auditor is a tax. See, today what is happening is everybody says that I know only this much. Like the doctor is only for the thumb. This doctor is not available for index finger. No, today everything is very specialized today. So we need to choose the right kind of people. And you have to ask this kind of questions, keep asking, and you'll get the right answer over a period of time. And there are good amount of tax planning methods. We'll also discuss that whenever we get an opportunity. But it's a separate I don't know. Hello, children. The children are my favorites. I have a granddaughter. I'm not sitting in my home. My brother's house. That's why she's not come. Otherwise, she would have come by now. Right? So, going back to what you said is that saving for tax for corporate is what corporate tax planning. It's a much bigger exercise than what you can even mention as in a cursory kind of a talk. It's a good question, of course. As long as you are there to maximize your shareholders' wealth. When I say share, it can be even a private limited company, but you are here to maximize shareholders' wealth. You're not here to pay tax to the government. I mean, pay tax to the government, gladly pay. Gladly pay GST. They have no choice today. You have to pay gladly. Whatever you have no choice, pay gladly as well. Don't crimp and pay. And of course, also protect the owner's interests. Interesting point about this is that I always thought that while recruiting, you have to be very careful and choose the senior level people because they can contribute a lot to the organization, lots in terms of some cost optimization ideas and things like that. And invariably, when I go as a consultant, I am being grilled. But I said that you can throw me out after 3 months if you don't. If you take an employee, throwing out the employee is very difficult. So to any other very good point, Mr. Kumar. Thanks for that. Any other person, please. Otherwise, you'll close the meeting because Sunday I thought I'll even including question and answer. I thought I'll complete by 11:45, 11:54 now. So can I close the meeting, please, with your permission? And if you have any questions subsequently, feel free to talk to me anything. Always challenge me. Don't accept me. Question me. So because by questioning you will learn more. By your questioning, I will also learn more. Why only you, isn't it? Thank you very much, Arshit. You have anything to observe as a closing remark? Arshit?
Sir, I have learned so
Arshit.
much today, sir. Thank you so much for that, sir.
Oh my God. At the age of 20?
28, sir.
My God, if you learned so much.
I've taken so many notes here.
Oh,
That's so many things I need to do.
yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Start implementing one by one. You be in touch with me. You are my colleague, so no problem at all. Keep in touch and ask the right questions. Keep asking right questions. You'll get the right answers. Right? Thank you very
Right, sir.
much, gentlemen. No